Look at my snails. Hey guys, it's Em. Today I decided to do a Q&A because so many of you have been asking me a lot of questions and I can't always feature your questions in a creature feature, so I thought I would do like a dedicated Q&A because it's been a while since I did a Q&A. So I want to do a Q&A. Darn it. During this Q&A, Shrek and Delilah are going to be enjoying a jacuzzi or trying to escape said jacuzzi. So stay tuned and I will be reading some of your questions. Slow down!
You're going like 100 miles an hour right now for a snail. Just chill out, okay?
If you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on your notification bell as well so you can keep up to date as soon as my videos come out. A lot of the questions that I answer from my Q&A are from Twitter, so if you haven't already followed me on Twitter, remember to hit me up at Emzotic official, and I'm pretty much on Twitter every day. Sometimes your questions and answers go into like hidden folders in my Instagram and my Facebook, and it's like just crazy to keep up with. So if you join me on my Twitter at Emzotic official, then if you have any questions, I can try and get back to those much faster than on any other platform. I'm stuck inside Shrek. There we go. Lovely. Where's your other eyeball? Why are you hiding your eyeball from me? You gonna bring it back out, or you're just gonna stay one-eyed? That's fine. My first question comes from Ilona Luzi, or Ilona Lozy? Lozy? Is it Ilona Lozy? And she asks, if you were a worm, how long would you be? I feel like I would be quite a modest sized worm, like quite a compact one. Let me be a worm. Does this work?
I am a modest worm.
I'd say probably around 3 inches long. I think that's a good size for a worm. There is drilling starting. Stop it. Ashley Adams on Twitter says, why don't you have any dogs, and will you ever get a few if you don't have them? If you use this question or see this, I freaking love you. Love you! I can't express how much I love dogs. One of my greatest loves in the entire world is just the whole canine family. Every birthday, every Christmas, every tooth I lost, I was just wishing so hard that I would be able to have a dog or a puppy, and it just never happened. Then I got older and I was so busy with all my work, it just wouldn't have been fair to have a dog. The hours that I was working up until recently were just so crazy that it would be impossible for me to have a dog because I was getting up at 4 AM and getting back at 11 PM, so it just wouldn't work. The reason I haven't had a dog so far is because number one, my family never was on board with me having a dog, and number two, since living alone, I never had the time for one, so it's not fair to have one, but hopefully that might change soon. Kia with a double I and one of these emoji things asks, where do you find all your cute necklaces? Well, I find all my cute necklaces, including this one, which you need to have a good look at, from a friend of mine who actually has an Etsy store. And the Etsy store is Birch Please, and you can find her on Instagram on the Birch Please Studio. So I'm going to show you this one, which is pretty amazing. It's wood and it's got several layers, and these are amazing, just gorgeous, almost holographic wings. They're stunning. This is just so unique, and she's got so many different designs, so I'll actually link her in my description box below. So if you want to go and check out this design over here or some of her other designs, she has so many, she's so talented. Go and check out her shop or find her on Instagram and let her know that you came from Emzotic's Q&A.
And even if you don't end up buying from her, just let her know that you appreciate her work because she deserves all the encouragement in the world. She is so talented.
Where are your eyes? There they are. You're too cute. How do you feel now that you've started being an online animal educator instead of one that talks to a live audience, and how do they compare? And that was from Etta Jirima on Twitter. Thank you, Etta. They're very, very different. Obviously, before going into schools and museums and hospitals, I was able to kind of be one-to-one with people, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoy the buzz and the thrill of speaking in front of a live audience. But the thing that I don't miss is all the travel. I mean, I was averaging about 200 miles a day, and that, you know, was for years and years, and I had no social life. It was not a healthy way to live, and looking back on it, the amount of shows that I booked in for myself, it wasn't fair to ask my animals to travel that far as well. My animals get to be really rested, and it's nice now that they don't have to be shuttled all over the southeast of England. So I'm quite happy just to be a digital animal educator. I think I will eventually do live shows again at some point, but I would want to change the format slightly. Audience wise, I have fallen so hard and so deeply in love with the YouTube audience, and all of you, especially my creature crew who come around for all my videos, you guys, you are paying my bills. You're helping me to do this. You're helping me to care for my animals, and you're responding so well to all my creature features. That's my dream. I just wanted to talk about animals. Ever since I was young, I just want to talk about animals, and it's all I want to do. So thank you guys for being, you know, just a massive part of this dream and helping me to do everything that I want to do. And honestly, it feels great being a digital animal educator now, because I can reach so many more of you, and I don't feel like I'm gonna miss out on not seeing people in the flesh, because I do plan to do meet and greets. I do plan to go to, you know, VidCons and to Summer in the City, and that way I get to meet you guys. So I'm happy. I'm satisfied, and my animals are happy, and they're healthy, and they're much better rested now than they were before. This is from Devani, and Devani asks, do you plan on being a mum for humans? I don't know why I phrased that so weird. Well, Devani, at some point I think I'd like to be a mum. I think I'd make a really good mum. I think I'd be really fun, but at the same time, you know, with everything that happened a couple of months ago, I don't feel ready to be there yet. I'm still healing, just mentally and spiritually, from losing the baby that I was expecting last year. It was actually this time last year that I found out that the baby had no heartbeat. So, you know, I'm still getting over that, and I'm fine. Like, don't worry. I don't spend my days really upset about what happened. I try and take it with, you know, a pinch of wisdom, and think, you know, life has something else in store for me, so I have to just trust that I am where I'm supposed to be right now. And if I'm supposed to have a child in the future, it will happen. If I'm not, then that's fine, because my animals are my children too. And if it turns out that I can't have children, or that it just never happens for me, it's fine. I'm satisfied for now, but I would, if I, you know, were to find out that I was expecting, then yeah, I would totally be just so happy that I was going to be a mum, because I think I'd be a really good mum. Natasha Ballantyne on Twitter asks me, have you got any advice on how to put yourself out there in the animal community and make yourself known besides YouTube? Love you. This is a really good question, because if you want to work with animals, it's really important to make connections. As with a lot of industries, it's not always what you know as much as who you know, which can be really, really helpful. So for me, I've been making connections mostly on Facebook for about the last 10 years or so. So if you're at an age where you're allowed to make accounts and you are confident enough in your ability to spot good and bad people, then places like Facebook can be a really good place for you to start meeting people and to start building connections and, you know, interacting with people who one day you might eventually work with. So for me, Facebook was the best way to go about this, but you might, you know, hang out on different forums in for different animals. I mean, I used to hang out on loads of different animal forums, and I made loads of friends through that too. So animal forums can be a good way as well. And just realize that most people in life are your cheerleaders. Most people want you to do well. So don't be shy. You know, if you go up and talk to someone, what's the worst they can do is just shun you or not want to talk to you. And then it's, you know, no loss to you, because you don't want to know people like that. Jay on Twitter asks, what is your dream pet to own, and say why? Love you and your videos so much. I have to be really boring here and just say dog. When I eventually have time for a dog and I manage to go to an adoption center and find a dog or a puppy that needs a home, and I sign those papers and bring it home, that is my dream come true. If I had to choose an exotic animal, there's two. I would love to keep either a Toko toucan for a bird, because they're amazing. They're probably my favorite bird in the world. Secondly, mangrove snake, because to me they're just one of the coolest snakes I've ever seen. I was really lucky when I went to Thailand. I've been a couple of times, but on my last visit a few years ago, I saw a mangrove snake in the wild, and I was just breath taken away.
Okay, forgive me for actually mentioning this person's name, but it's just their name on Twitter. So this is a question from I'm Gay, as in lots and lots and lots of A's.
What is your favorite animal that you haven't seen in real life? Probably hammerhead sharks. I've never seen a hammerhead shark in real life, and I would love to see a hammerhead shark because they're just so unique looking. This is from Kella Pella. What is the most expensive animal you've ever owned? Sending lots of love from Estonia. Mwah! All the way to Estonia. Kella Pella, I had a couple of green tree pythons a few years ago, and they're quite an expensive snake as far as purchasing goes. So they started around £600–700 each. So I had about 4 of them at one point, and lots of setups that were very expensive. So they were probably my most expensive animals altogether. This is a question from Vic on Twitter. What mythical animal would you own? This is a really cool question. I'm very big on my mythical creatures. I can't tell if I'd want a kelpie, or if I would want a hippogriff, or if I would want a harpy, because they'd be kind of cool too. But if I had to choose, I would go for a cubie. We get the cubie in a lot of literature. So it's a 9-tailed fox, and in some ways it brings good luck, some ways it's bad luck. Sometimes it's a woman that can turn into a 9-tailed fox, and it's basically the idea that it's a spirit fox, and the more established it is, the more tails it has. So we also see this in popular culture, obviously 9 tails in Pokemon, and we also see it in the series Naruto. So yeah, if I could, I would keep a 9-tailed fox. That would be awesome. This is a question from Fernando Hidalgo, and he asks, best snakes as pets besides corns and royal pythons? And I feel quite strongly about this because I love corns, I love royal pythons, or ball pythons as you call them in the States, but actually I think one of the best snakes you can keep is a milk snake. And if any of you follow my Instagram, at Emzotic Official, you'll see I put up lots of pictures and videos of the snake I used to work with at my old work, and his name's Milky Milk Snake, and just gorgeous. But they're so gentle, they're very reluctant to bite, they do musk a fair bit when they're younger, and the reason why they're called milk snakes is because it was believed that they used to latch onto udders in the fields, and milkmaids would think that they were sucking the milk from a cow, which is not the case at all. Yeah, snakes don't drink milk. Please don't make your snake drink any milk. It's not good for them. Ooh, John asks, if you were to be reincarnated into any animal, which would you choose and why? I think I would like to come back as a pine marten, because they're just so agile and playful, and they get to hang out in the trees. But yeah, I feel genuinely, if I were an animal, I'd come back as something fairly compact and furry. So I think like a pine marten would suit me pretty well. Yeah, I think I want to come back as a pine marten. Definitely a pine marten. Ooh, Brianna Downs asks me, if you could bring back one extinct animal or creature, what one would you choose and why? I would bring back the thylacine. If you don't know what a thylacine looks like or looked like, here we go. That's what a thylacine looked like, because they've only been gone for a little while. It was only the last couple of decades that they've been thought to be extinct, and there have been some sightings, not confirmed, but the reason I'd bring back the thylacine is because we still have the habitat in order to sustain it. You know, of course, who wouldn't want to bring back like an amazing T-Rex or velociraptors? But the fact is we don't have the ecosystem to support it. We do have it for the thylacine, so I would 100% bring back the thylacine. Sorry, just I have to show you, snails are conspiring. Shrek has eaten Delilah. Where is Delilah's head? It's been eaten. Lovely. Okay, I'm actually kind of bummed about this next question because I took a screenshot of a chat in my Snapchat, but I didn't manage to grab the name beforehand. And this girl has sent me so many really funny snaps, and she asks me, what's your favorite Australian animal? Love from down under. Sorry that I couldn't get your name up on here, but hopefully I'll be able to find you and put you in another Q&A as well, and I can give you a proper shout out. But thank you for your message. My favorite Australian animal is the wombat. My dad actually calls me his silly wombat because I kind of looked in a weird way. I had like the face of a wombat when I was small. And also because who doesn't love their poops? They do square poops, as in wombats legitimately do square poops. I don't do square poops, I don't think, but I love the fact that the feces of a wombat is cubic, which is awesome. Thank you all so much for your questions. Like I said at the beginning of this video, the best place to send me questions for Q&As or in general is Twitter. So go find me at Emzotic Official on Twitter. And I really hope that you enjoyed this Q&A and that you enjoyed hanging out a little bit more with Shrek as well, who is just so cute. And I'm dripping again. We're dripping. We're drippy today. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't, because I'm going to be doing lots of Halloween specials as well. So it's definitely worth subscribing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. I will see you in another video soon. See you later.